Clap sync, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Critical Podcast, where we get as critical as possible. We're your hosts, Jayden and Ryan. And if you saw last week's episode, you know what happened. We haven't filmed in a little while because we had a copyright whole
strike.
thing go down.
It was so stupid.
Yes, it was very dumb. We'll make sure it doesn't happen again, though. And we cut some stuff out, re-released that episode, so we had a lot of time. We had a little break, so there is a ton of stuff to talk about. We got the Marvels and Invincible, the new Invincible season, which is the main things we'll go over. There's a bunch of other stuff.
We'll talk a little bit more about the FNAF movie, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I want to do a post-FNAF review because we missed a lot in the last episode.
Yeah,
but
we made a whole video covering it.
Oh, yeah. Go check out our main channel and check out our Letterboxd, Spotify, TikToks, all that in the description below.
Well,
let's start out
started
with our positive and the negatives of the week.
All right, so my positive was we reached 10K subs.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I cannot believe we did that.
So insane, bro. Like, man, I honestly, when we started, I was completely happy with like reaching 500, and I thought we were gonna be like 500 and below, like for like a year or more. But to be at 10K in the matter of how many months? 4 months?
Like, yeah, probably
No, it was definitely more than 4 months.
Maybe like 4. I think so.
Yeah, 5 months.
We could not have done it at all without you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the comments. And I reply to all the comments, of course, and we have a lot of conversations together. And we're definitely going to get a Discord server fully set up for you guys so we can have a whole community and talk about stuff that we love. And we'll get a very good Discord set up for you guys.
That's going to be fun. But yeah, huge props to you because you've been doing a lot of the work. I've been lacking a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to get on track, though. Yeah, we're almost done with school. I'm about to finish school, and you're about to go on break, so we'll have a lot of time to do more stuff for the channel.
We're going to be doing high-quality videos.
Yes, we're going to make sure you guys get some bangers. My positive is the strike is finally over.
Yeah, just heard about that.
So that means Beyond the Spider-Verse is returning production. Across the Spider-Verse is my favorite film of all time, and you loved it just as much. Great film. So excited for the third one. I really hope they nail it and make the best movie trilogy of all time. The Boys Season 4 is almost done. One of our favorite shows of all time. The Boys is amazing, and I'm so hyped for Season 4. Deadpool 3 is coming out July 3rd next year. I'm pretty sure
That's a long time.
Yeah, that is a long time, but time does fly by, especially nowadays. 2023, we're already at the end. That's wild.
It's crazy. This whole year has gone by so fast, and so much has happened.
Stranger Things Season 5 will begin filming very soon. You were really bigger. You were way bigger on Season 4 than I was, so I know you're very excited. Superman Legacy will begin filming in March, and it will release July 11th of 2025. I know we're not the biggest Superman fans, but James Gunn is the creator of the Guardians films and the Suicide Squad.
That would make you very excited for this film.
Films I very much adore. And I really think James Gunn is going to do Superman justice because, we're not really big fans of him. I mean, his comics are fine, but we're not huge on his comics, but he does have some good ones. The live-action movies we've gotten of Superman sucked. They're not very good at all. So I really hope they finally get some more Superman fans because not everybody, but most people our age, I feel like, don't really care about Superman.
Yeah, I never really cared for Superman because he's always just like the superhero. Like when you think of a superhero, it's going to be Superman. And
so basic.
It just feels so generic and basic. But
you can't really relate to an OP guy. Which is an issue we'll be talking about in the Marvels.
I mean, but it is fun to see OP like characters sometimes, like One Punch Man or like anything like that.
Of course. It's just, but when it's written good, of course, it's great. The Minecraft movie and Mortal Kombat 2 will begin filming early 2024. We are both Minecraft fans, Minecraft players, so I'm very interested to see what they do for a movie. Any predictions?
I know, I have no idea. I haven't seen any trailer, anything on this. So seeing the video game movies and everything, all those adaptations that we had lately, I'm scared, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I really hope they don't do a thing where it's like the Minecraft game for the first 5 or 10 minutes and then there's some portal thing and they get sucked into the real world.
Oh yeah, that'd be awful.
Minecraft. Yeah, no, that would be probably the worst thing they could do.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that because I feel like they know that would be a very bad thing to do.
And I know you're not big on the Venom movies, but Venom 3 will be coming out November of 2024. And Venom 2 is one of our least favorite comic book movies of all time. I really hope they bring in one of the Spider-Men for Venom 3. If they do that, I think Venom 3 has potential to be really good. Of course, I'm not really excited for Venom 3. I like the first one. It's not amazing. It's definitely has its flaws, and the second one's terrible. But, who knows? Maybe Venom 3 might be the movie of all time.
Definitely going to watch it anyways. Yeah.
I think Venom's an awesome villain, but not very awesome in Spider-Man 2. Did I already talk about my... Yeah, I did talk about my positive. Did you have a negative of the week?
Oh, yeah. My negative was... so much going on. Couldn't work on videos. We did work on a video, but I had so much going on that I kind of had to rush the script a little bit. It still ended up well.
School's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, school is just being a bitch. So much going on. All right.
Well, we're trying. My negative is... Now, before I get into this, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, of course. And when I have arguments with people and their reasoning is, oh, well, that's just my opinion. That's just the way I feel, and that's all they can say. I feel like that's a really cheap way to go about defending your opinion. But, sometimes it's whatever. But this is one of our TikToks, a clip of this podcast, went a little bit viral, got tons of comments, and it is where I said Spider-Man 2 wasn't as good as the first one. And there was a ton of hate comments, but we can have our own opinions, and I play a lot of video games. Like, I've been playing both of us, we've been playing video games forever, and you know how much we love Spider-Man. I mean, look at all the Spider-Man stuff around us.
I'd say like 50% of the stuff here is Spider-Man.
Really. We love Spider-Man, of course. And just that ending in Spider-Man 2 where you're fighting Venom doing quick time events in the air is just, it doesn't hit the same as fighting Otto Octavius, which was voiced by Rigby, spectacular voice actor. And it's kind of like the Far From Home situation where you know how Mysterio is in Far From Home and they make him out to be the good guy. But if you know anything about Spider-Man, you know he's going to be the villain.
Of course.
In the first Spider-Man, Otto Octavius is sort of like that father figure for Peter. And I honestly thought he was going to be good. Like, they had me fooled. And then by the time he turns on you at the end, it's really an emotional impact. And I guess I'm just not a big fan of Harry Osborn because I don't think either of us really care for him from the Raimi trilogies. He's especially one of the worst parts of TASM 2.
TASM.
And you haven't watched many of the Spider-Man shows. I think he's fine in Spectacular Spider-Man, but in Ultimate Spider-Man, he's terrible. And I guess I'm just not a Harry fan because when he, quote-unquote, dies at the end of Spider-Man 2, I just didn't really care. I'm sorry if you did. And I thought the game was great. An 8 out of 10 is not bad. It is probably like in my top 15 games of all time. It was great.
Yeah, very little games reach that high of a rating.
Very, very, very rare. But it's like another thing is some people are saying that I haven't even played the game just for my rating. And I have played the game, trust me.
Spent a lot more on the game than most people.
Yeah, sadly, but I think the statue is sick.
Yeah.
And Miles is, people are saying, oh, it's a Peter story. It's fine, Miles is sideline. Well, don't advertise it as be greater together and have Miles on the cover and advertise it as, oh, you're going to be able to switch Spider-Man in the game. And yeah, you can switch him after the story mode, but I don't really care for the side missions at all. I never really play side missions in games, unless it's something like God of War, where they actually make some of the side missions better than the actual like main story. But I wanted to pick what Spider-Man I wanted to do in the main story, and I get like that's hard to do. Like Detroit Become Human, that game took so long to make because of all the different choices and stuff, but just don't advertise it as, that if you're not going to be able to pick. But it's fine. And Miles is definitely the MVP of the game. Like, he does, like, has some of the best moments. So that's why it's just a little bit aggravating for me that he's kind of sidelined in it.
So there wasn't much gameplay for Miles then?
There, not really. But there wasn't... You got to play as Miles, but as far as, like, story-wise... He doesn't really get much evolution. And you just play it's about like a 20-hour game. You play as Peter for probably about like 10 hours. No, it's probably like a 15-hour game. You play as Peter for about like 9 hours and then Miles for a little bit. But like nothing, we had a whole discussion in the last episode. Miles, you play him in the final boss fight and it's whatever. We talked about it before. I don't want to spend too much time on Spider-Man because we have the Marvels to talk about. But we can have our own opinions, and I just really think the Otto Octavius fight is one of the best gaming moments in history. I loved it so much, and I just don't think Spider-Man 2 competes. Right. There's definitely aspects Spider-Man 2 does better, but overall, in my opinion, and it's in our name, Critical Crew. I like to think of us as critics. We say in the intro we get as critical as possible, despite our age, even though we're not that young. But you know, I if I have issues with something, you know, I'm not gonna hide it or anything. But it's a great game. I loved it. Anything you just want to bring up?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, something I wanted to bring up was I am extremely happy, extremely looking forward to this coming month.
Really?
Yeah. December, I love Christmas, first of all.
Of course, Christmas is amazing.
The atmosphere is amazing. I'm going to get my license, so I'm going to be able to drive wherever I want to.
It's amazing. Hell yeah.
We can go to the movies. We don't have to have anybody take us or anything like that.
That'll be great.
Oh, yeah. My school's not doing exams.
Ooh,
so yeah,
really?
They just decided exams were pointless and threw them out.
That's good.
So I'm super happy. You don't have to stress about that. And most importantly, I can work on videos a lot more.
Yes. I'm about to, like I said, I'm about to completely finish school, so it's about to be full YouTube time.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. Something I just wanted to bring up. I wanted to just do a little bring up, but we might as well. Something I want to bring up. Let's just do a post FNAF review. When we did the FNAF episode, we watched the movie, came straight home and filmed, so we had no time to sleep on it or anything. And the main thing is we have a friend who really enjoyed the Mario movie, and I don't know how he felt about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but I can only assume that he really enjoyed it because it seems like his kind of movie. And I respect you if you like these movies. I love you if you like these movies, but it's just, if you guys keep praising these terrible video game adaptations,
we're going to keep getting them.
We are never going to stop getting them. Like, the Mario movie was terrible. And a comparison...
I'd never watched it. But
yeah, you've never seen it. But a comparison I can make is TMNT Mutant Mayhem and the Mario movie. Both old things people grew up with. You didn't even grow up with Ninja Turtles, and you saw the movie.
I didn't watch
really
anything of that content, and I loved that movie. It was pretty good.
And the Mario movie just has like the most like generic whatever like Easter eggs. It's just like childish, not good, mindless. Like I like Monsters Inc. is a 10 out. One of the I don't really give movies 10 out of 10s. Monster Inc. is a 10 out of 10, and it's a kids movie. It's because it's in a movie older people and younger people can enjoy. Yeah. Mario is just something little dumb babies can enjoy. Again, I'm sorry if you enjoyed the Mario movie, but it was terrible.
That's harsh.
Same for the FNAF movie. This movie was terrible. It was a terrible representation of the first game. Name one thing that's in every single Five Nights at Freddy's game that they don't even try to attempt in this one. That would be like the easiest thing to do.
Like exactly what do you mean? Like an Easter egg?
Like, Easter egg in a game, that something that you can click on, or sound effect or whatever. Something in every
the Freddy's nose.
Exactly. Freddy's nose, they don't even attempt that. And another example, the ding dong, 6 a.m., none of that. No, like, in the main thing, when he doesn't even barely check the cameras. Does he even check the cameras in that movie?
Like once in the movie.
Okay, maybe like one time, but there's no doors that slide down. There's no light buttons that he pushes. It's like they didn't even try. He doesn't even try. Like, there's not a single scene where he looks at the security camera and the animatronics one position, he looks away, looks back, and it's like in a different position. That doesn't happen once. Like, he's never like, like, did they change position? He doesn't do that once in the movie.
First of all, it's funny how one of your main complaints is that they didn't have the boop or the ding dong sound effects. Okay, it's just kind of funny.
But to further that point, it's like people are saying, "Oh, this is such a movie for the fans. So many Easter eggs." I could count how many Easter eggs on my finger. I could count how many Easter eggs there were in this movie on my fingers. There really wasn't that many, and the ones they did choose were just like we talked about it last episode. Like, I like FNAF World, but the rainbow is one of the Easter eggs you're gonna do. Seriously, the FNAF. Like, you're already merging in stuff from the most recent game into this one. Just go all out with the Easter eggs. Go all out. And in my opinion, it's almost like they didn't even try.
I think most of the movie was just like fan service, really. The story was very lacking and executed terribly. And then this, like, for example, the Springlock scene, you have William Afton say, I will always come back. and I heard that they cut out a screaming scene from.
There was apparently a Springlock scene where William Afton like lost his voice a little bit because he was screaming. From
I would have loved to see that.
I'm sure they cut it out because that's kind of like really like gruesome, I guess. But like that's like another point I want to get to. Like when we were kids, we watched people play FNAF. Like the FNAF games are hard. Like I still struggle playing FNAF 2. We can't even beat FNAF 4. I remember when we played Security Breach.
FNAF 4 is definitely the hardest because you can't find like a strategy.
Security Breach, really. Not Security Breach. Sister Location is way harder than FNAF 4. It's just those games are hard. It's not something a kid would play. And like we talked about this movie came out a few years too late. Kids aren't really growing up with FNAF nowadays. Like we used to get FNAF games like every few months because they were like basically made for mobile and Scott released them very frequently. And we were kids, so like that's what we grew up with. Nowadays, there's like a FNAF game every few years. Like it is not the phenomenon it used to be. And everybody in our theater was like, nobody was under the age of 16 years old. And I wish they did a rated R cut like Megan or something. But I feel like this was a turn your brain off movie. And I feel like since we were so excited for it, so hyped for it, we went into it expecting like a really good movie when we should have went into it we should have went into it expecting like, all right, this is just being a fun movie. Let's turn our brains off.
No. I never wanted that at all.
Yeah, no, I don't want that at all, but that's what the movie was.
Yeah, well, I wait 8 years for a movie. I expect a good story and something I can really be like, wow, that lived up to the hype. Instead we just got this lame story, bad acting, not great acting from some of the characters, fan service.
I'm not going to lie to you. I know a lot of people are, I honestly, I see some people 50-50 on Josh Hutcherson, but most people love him. I honestly think the only like acting performance that I enjoyed watching was William Afton. Now, I don't think it was a good portrayal of William Afton.
Definitely not.
But his acting in general, it's just like I liked seeing Matthew Lillard act. Like he's a good actor.
Matthew Lillard at the start was good, but the Springlock scene was awful.
At the end it was bad.
It was just cringy.
It was terrible.
But
go on. I'm sorry.
Mike Schmidt or Josh Hutcherson, I think he did a great job. I think he's one of the redeeming qualities of this movie.
He was definitely one of the better parts, but again, I just thought he was fine. But like I did not dislike him at all. I liked him more than I disliked him. And Markiplier was supposed to be in this movie, and obviously not because of Iron Lung. And he was supposed to be the security guard in the opening. And if he was, which I would have loved, had I saw Markiplier, no, you're good. Had I saw Markiplier in the opening, I would have turned my brain off immediately. And I'm like, oh, this is just going to be a fun movie. Because Markiplier is like a goofy, like I love Markiplier, but like if you see Markiplier in the opening of a movie, you okay?
I'm good.
Like, I would have known not to take it seriously, but they tried to go for like that serious tone for the opening, and then they dropped that immediately right after.
Well, Markiplier, he was going to be the night guard that gets killed at the beginning. Yeah, so he would have been the first person we saw in the entire movie.
I would have known exactly like, oh, this is going to be a fun movie. Let me just enjoy this.
I actually liked the opening a lot. I think the actor really did a good job for that one. It was actually kind of creepy too. So I think with Markiplier, it would have just been more funny.
Yeah, and then that would have set a much better tone for the rest of the movie, which is just trying to be funny.
Well, at least I could at least say the opening was at least good.
Yeah.
Instead of the whole movie was bad. But
I thought the animatronics moving was just so like it looked good, but it completely takes away from the creepiness and like possession. And another thing is with that Pillar Fort scene, people are like, "Oh, it's kids," and then they're playing with the children.
They were literally killing people before that.
They were killing people right before that, and I get they were adults, but it doesn't matter. They still slaughter people right before that, and I don't give a that they're childs. And FNAF 1, do we ever see them build pillow forts? No. There's just some things we shouldn't see. They infer that in the games, but we don't actually see it because it would be so stupid.
So what was happening was the animatronics were trying to give Mike a false sense of security to let him think that they're okay for Abby to be around. Right?
And it was so goofy.
It was just done poorly. Stupid. Okay,
it was dumb. It
didn't fit.
Some things you just shouldn't do.
Going back to the animatronics movement, you have that one scene where Chica and Bonnie let Carl the cupcake into the vent and then look back up at the cameras. One of the scenes where Mike looks at the cameras, actually. No, that's not Mike. That's a different person. But yeah, it just looks so goofy when in the games.
All you see them is twitch.
They twitch. You never see them move, and when they are moving, it's something supernatural. They're twitching.
They teleport in this movie, which is so stupid. And I get they teleport in the games, but when you see them teleport in the movie, it's stupid. It's so.
They teleport in the movie?
In the opening, you remember when Foxy jump scares the guy? He literally teleports. Like, he's at the end of the hallway and then he teleports.
I think what was inferred was he ran that distance in
but
the time that the light flickers.
He definitely teleports. And it's done multiple times in the movie. Bonnie teleports into the janitor closet.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy's in there. So stupid.
They don't teleport in the games. I mean, it looks like that, but in actuality, they walk. You just can't see them on cameras.
One positive we did not talk about previous episode, Doug was hilarious. The lawyer, I love the lawyer so much. He was so funny. I can't believe you do remember?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh my god, and he was in the diner. I love Doug so much.
He was a lawyer, bro. I just thought that was her husband.
No, it
just
was
being dragged along for everything.
But last point I want to bring up because we gotta talk about the Marvels. At least I know you were really low on the banana splits, and the movie's not good at all. It's dog shit. But at least shit happens in that movie, Like, you get fun kills with the animatronics. You get character moments that don't feel wacky and stupid. And, it's not much better, of course. Like, I'm obviously taking FNAF over it, but at least stuff is happening in that movie. In this movie, you're dealing with Mike's dream sequences for the first 2 acts, and it drags. Pacing is terrible, and it's just not good.
Well, yeah, I agree, but one more thing I got to bring up.
No, you're fine. Anything else, bring up.
Yeah, they don't play the game at all.
No, not at all. They don't even attempt it, and so I just thought it was such a lazy game.
Like, I understand that the FNAF 1 game would be hard to adapt into a movie, but they could have done something different. They could have gone for more like a sister location kind of gameplay. Of course, in the FNAF 1 building, but you know how in Sister Location is moving around, doing other tasks, but they're still in danger, and you still feel that nervousness.
Yeah,
they could have done something like that.
And they don't even try. It's so sad. I did see some Reddit stuff where Scott said he is paying attention to criticism of this movie. I have hope for FNAF 2.
Yeah, me
too. I think
too.
FNAF 2 will be good.
Oh, even if the next 3 movies are bad, if they keep making movies, I'm gonna watch them. I mean, not that they would deserve it, but still.
You brought this up. He's probably just going to do it like the games where he's not happy with one thing and he just keeps adding.
Exactly. There's going to be like 12 movies.
Let's talk about the Marvels.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about we'll make this very quick, state of the MCU. We'll do a spoiler-free Marvels review, but you haven't seen any of the recent Marvel movies, but I've kept up with all of them because I've been watching them all my whole life. They've been really bad. I wasn't big on Guardians 3. I hated Ant-Man 3. I didn't like Wakanda Forever. Doctor Strange 2 is my least favorite MCU movie. And then Kang is supposed to be, Thanos obviously isn't the big bad anymore. Kang from the comics is the new big bad, and the actor for him turned out to be kind of a criminal. So they're freaking out on what to do about the next big bad for the next phase of the MCU. And they're thinking there's talks about switching it out with Doctor Doom. And it's just a whole bunch of hectic stuff going on. I'm pretty sure on the Marvels, the director just completely left production at one point to go start on something else. Something happened with the Marvels where some people just literally left mid-production. And I think we might be able to, I think you can tell a little bit. We'll talk about that though.
Yeah.
And I know you probably weren't very excited to see this movie, but I wasn't excited to see this movie when it was first announced because the first Captain Marvel blows absolutely fat ass.
Yeah.
But I saw the trailer for this movie and it actually intrigued me. I thought there were some funny jokes. I thought the entanglement power things would be really interesting. And I think Miss Marvel is a very interesting character. And I started Miss Marvel before we watched this. I only got past the first episode, but I didn't mind it at all. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it at all. And let's just talk about the Marvels. You ready for your rating?
Yeah, I'm ready for the rating.
3, 2, 1.
4 out of 10.
Finally, I don't think we ever had the same exact score
sure?
in front.
Are you sure?
We've had very similar scores, but not same exact ones.
I think we agreed about a 3 out of 10 once or something.
Maybe, but I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
So obviously, this movie wasn't great. It's not the worst MCU movie, but it's definitely bottom 10, maybe. No, probably not bottom 5. Definitely bottom 10. Let's talk about the positives first, because there is a lot of great stuff in this movie.
Let me get into one. I thought the action was good.
Yeah,
there were some fight scenes. There were some fight scenes that were actually very entertaining.
Especially towards the end, that one fight scene, the final battle with the villain. I thought the way I wanted to see more of their power entanglement stuff. I thought that was really interesting, and I'll get in more into my negatives later. But I really liked seeing that, and then especially, but again, it was just like what I'd expect from Marvel action. Like, I liked it, but it wasn't anything special.
Yeah. And then another positive was actually, okay, you get into your positive.
One of my biggest positives, and I really hope you agree with this, I thought Miss Marvel was spectacular. I really want to see more of her in the future of the MCU. And her family is a billion times better than the one in Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Yes, way better. Like, you could tell, like, they're not just cracking stupid jokes the whole time. You can tell they care for Kamala.
Yeah.
They have great chemistry. And there's I don't think this movie has great emotional beats, but the emotional beats with Kamala and her family, I think, were done pretty great.
Yeah, well, you know what's better about that comedy from their family over Blue Beetles is their comedy actually relates to them being worried for Kamala instead of just making fun
jokes
about their child or whatever. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that Miss Marvel was great in this movie. I didn't like her as much as more people, but I did think she was the best out of the three.
Does this make you want to watch the Miss Marvel show?
No, I don't really want to watch any MCU movies because I just heard so much bad things about them.
MCU shows, you said?
Yeah, MCU shows.
Obviously, I liked She-Hulk. I didn't mind Hawkeye, and Loki was kind of eh. All the other ones were complete ass. I will only make you watch Loki because Loki is important for MCU.
Yeah,
and people are acting like Loki season 2 is the greatest thing the MCU's produced out. Yeah, and I'm gonna save watching it so we can watch it together.
Let's watch it together.
Yeah. So, but I won't make you watch Moon Knight because terrible. I won't make you watch What If, but Loki is definitely one we got to watch.
Even if you did make me watch it, I wouldn't watch it.
Jesus.
All right. Well, any other positives?
But I've only seen one episode of the Miss Marvel show. This makes me want to go finish it ASAP. Like, I want to go finish the Miss Marvel show. The suits were great, very comic accurate, especially Miss Marvel's suit. I thought her suit was amazing. Captain Marvel's suit at the start, where her sleeves are up, looks really bad, but then she gets the new one with the big star, and I think it looks really good. And Monica Rambeau's suit doesn't look that bad either.
I think it kind of feels out of place, though. It's just like this white and black suit, and then the other suits are just super colorful.
Nick Fury was pretty good in this movie. You can't help not to love Fury, but he was just kind of cracking jokes the entire time.
Yeah.
I don't think the comedy in this movie was bad, but it wasn't funny in the slightest.
I heard so many people complaining about Nick Fury.
I think that's because I haven't seen Secret Invasion. I watched the first episode, and it's one of the MCU shows I haven't even watched. I watched the first episode. I was like, that was terrible.
Yeah, but people are saying he's just cracking jokes like all the time. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's always like in Avengers. The first Avengers. He has his funny moments, but he's usually not funny every time he's on screen. But yeah, that can be a little bit. But I don't think the comedy ever took me out of it.
Yeah, it didn't make us laugh. I know a lot of people in the theaters were laughing, but
our theater, this is like one of the rare theater experience we had where people weren't really laughing the whole time. You know, Blue Beetle, they were screaming, TMNT Mutant Mayhem screaming, FNAF. Oppenheimer, Gas, FNAF screaming, Across the Spider-Verse screaming. There was only like a few people laughing during
I thought people were laughing quite a bit. More than
I may have
would,
just been too locked in or something, but
people
I didn't
laugh a lot. I don't.
Yeah,
maybe we're just different.
Well, Mutant Mayhem was really. I know you didn't really find that movie too funny. It was honestly the only movie I was laughing at throughout the entire time in the theater. Oh, you good?
Yeah.
Did you like how short this movie was? How'd you feel about the length?
I felt the length was good. I mean, the story wasn't that great, so I felt like the length was good enough. You know,
felt like the ending was slightly rushed, but like I don't think that was necessarily too bad.
Okay. So the ending, Monica Rambeau just she
no spoilers.
Oh really. Yeah, we can't spoil it yet.
We'll talk about spoilers later.
Anyways, okay, the villain was, the villain wasn't the best, right?
Well, I have a few more positives. Thought the acting was fine. I didn't think this movie was very. As of right now, I think I like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie better. But I think after a few days, I'm probably gonna acknowledge the Marvels is a lot better. because the Five Nights at Freddy's movie wasn't terrible, but I like just being the FNAF fan I am and knowing what it could have been, I do kind of hate it, but I don't despise it.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I think I like FNAF a little bit better. And I thought this movie was entertaining. Like, I wasn't really bored, but I wasn't like, whoa, any of the time. But I was entertained. But there's a lot of negatives of this movie. We'll get in it. This is probably the shittiest villain that MCU is. One of the worst villains I've seen ever. I know you're not that big on Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's literally just not an exact copy of Ronan, but it's just a pussified version of Ronan. I think her motives are fine. Like, I actually think her motives are quite good. Captain Marvel destroyed her home and stuff, but it's nothing crazy, And then the villain does literally nothing in the movie. She does almost nothing. Every fight scene she gets her ass kicked, and then she just ends up and she just like slaps her things together, and she like it was so stupid.
So one of the main points of this movie is
I might have to bleep that out. That was a massive spoiler.
Okay, well, are we not getting into spoilers?
No, yeah.
We're gonna have to get into
spoiler time.
All right. So, one of the main things in this movie is they switch places whenever they use their powers at the same time, and I feel like this aspect isn't really used that much.
It was great, but they didn't they almost did nothing with it. Yeah,
exactly.
And then they just drop it. Like, they don't have how did they lose their empowered entanglements? Was that because of
I have no idea. I forgot.
It's like I feel like some there was just scenes missing, especially with the villain. It's just like there's like it's like, really, Marvel? Like, we've been wanting, like, you guys are in the state you're in right now, and this is what you come out with. Like, I don't know how they would even put out this movie. And maybe that's just being a little harsh, but I don't know. This was not great. I thought some of the visuals were really questionable, especially with Monica Rambeau near the end, where that whole thing is happening with her and she's sacrificing herself. I think she looks really goofy at some points.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I was not expecting it. I was like, wait, what? When did Monica Rambeau became this important? I felt like she was missing some character development, maybe.
And I thought the emotional beats in this movie, especially were Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau. That one scene where they're crying together and it's like you're supposed to feel bad. I just didn't care at all for any of the emotional beats. I thought Captain Marvel was particularly unlikable in this movie. I mean, she's definitely better by the end. She has a little bit of character development, but I think for the most part, she's not very likable in this movie.
So there's one scene towards the end in the ship. They have to abandon the ship, and they use the cats to swallow everybody up.
Yep.
I thought that was actually a clever idea. I thought it was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I like the cats, and obviously, I don't really like how the cat scratches out Nick Fury's eye. I think that's a little.
Oh yeah, that's just stupid. Well, that was Captain Marvel.
Yeah, but they do kind of rub it in your face in this movie just a little bit. I didn't hate the cats; they were cute. I think they overdid them just a little bit, but not too much.
They really weren't in the movie that much. It was just a very quick side plot for me.
Yeah, really. I guess you're right. I just didn't care for it. But I didn't mind it. That one singing scene. And then there was like that she turned into a Disney princess.
What was that?
This is so cringe.
I was just like, okay.
The cringe level.
Yeah. How does that world work? They can't understand normal speech, but they can understand singing.
Question. Ronan had his hammer in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and he had the Power Stone in it, and that's how how does she have the same exact power? Well, you haven't seen Endgame. But spoiler alert, I'm sure you can only assume the Infinity Stones have been destroyed. Unless they don't even explain it, so maybe it's something else and I just don't know. It feels like scenes were cut. They should have explained more. But it literally just has the same powers as the Power Stone. The Power Stone's destroyed. And it's the exact same hammer Ronan had. So it's just like but it's not, it's just,
Yeah, I understand. Damn, but just... a mess of a movie, you know.
Yeah, very, very. The directing was not. It was very messy. They try to set up the Young Avengers by the end. Kate Bishop from Hawkeye. One of the highlights of the Hawkeye show is Kate Bishop, and I don't really care for Young Avengers. Like, you know, it's just like, but
it can be done.
I'm sure they'll do. I'm sure they'll do it well after seeing this movie. I don't know if big spoiler we want to talk about post-credit scene. We need to talk about the post-credit scene.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest spoiler of the movie, 3, 2, 1. Before we walked into this movie, when we were filling up these drinks, do you recall what I told you?
If this movie's bad, the only thing that can save the MCU is the X-Men.
And then they show Beast. I think they show Beast at the end. You don't really know any of the X-Men. We will watch the X-Men movies because some of them are actually very good. But I'm so excited. I think it's a little bit lame how they're introducing the X-Men. Like they're just in a different universe. Like really, like I guess that is kind of the best way to do it, because how would you explain them being in the MCU the whole time and they just haven't been around? So I guess there's not really another way they could have done it. But I think Beast looks a little weird. I think the CGI on him looks a little bit. He looks very comic accurate with the lab coat and the glasses.
Yeah,
because he's like a professor in the comic, like doctor. But he just looks a little bit weird. I thought a lot of the CGI in this movie was weird. But I was like, oh crap, like
I heard
theaters.
you.
Like I was very excited.
More people said that too. They were like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, that was hype. I am excited for the future of the MCU. However, I don't know what the next MCU movie coming out is. But if it's bad, then I've probably lost. Do
you think they're gonna focus in on like one particular person, or do you think it's gonna be like X-Men the movie or something?
I don't know, but I really hope they don't up the X-Men.
Monica Rambeau is probably gonna be a character. In that movie.
She was just like the most. Like I don't care for Monica Rambeau at all, like at all. And I feel like, you know what? I guess I don't really blame you for being that big on Miss Marvel, because watching the first episode, like I liked it a little bit. You know, it's not the great, but you know, like I get her character. Kamala's a very likable character. I've seen WandaVision, so I know everything that's happened with Monica Rambeau. And I just feel like if you haven't watched the shows, you're not going to get a lot out of this movie. Like, we saw this with my parents, and they didn't even know who, like, half the characters were, because they haven't seen any of the shows, and, you know, they don't read comics either. So, and I think that's a big thing that's killing the MCU. Some of the shows are fine, like, obviously, controversial opinion, I like She-Hulk, but it's just there's so many shows. Marvel used to release movies like every few months, like 3 movies a year, and now they're just producing movie after movie, show after. They have slowed down a little bit. Guardians 3 came out like a few months ago. Mm-hmm. They are slowing down. That's what they're doing. They stopped pumping out all the shows. But I think that has killed a little bit of the MCU, because like people shouldn't have to watch shows to understand a movie.
I'm here. I was always here saying I don't really want to watch the shows, and then you're telling me like you have to watch the shows to understand what goes on in some of these movies.
And I don't blame you. That
just disappoints me.
You haven't seen Endgame. Literally sets up like all the shows, so I can't blame you for not being. You're probably gonna want to see some of them after Endgame, because they set them up very well.
Okay.
But I don't blame you for not wanting to watch them right now, especially with the way how most people feel about them. But yeah, X-Men, big positive in this movie, but this movie was just not great. It was entertaining, but not good. Where do you rank it in movies you saw this year?
In movies I saw this year, that would be above the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah, movie wasn't that great. You want to talk about Invincible?
Yeah.
All right. Only the first episode is out. Do you know your rating for the first episode?
Let me think about it real quick.
You ready?
I think I'm ready.
Invincible Season 2 Episode 1 rating. 3, 2, 1,
7 out of
10. 7.5, nice. Yeah. So, fine first episode. Well, we're very big fans of Invincible Season 1.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Very, very spectacular show. We binged it.
It's got like a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really? I don't blame it. No, the show is very good, very impressive. Mostly better than a lot of the stuff Marvel has.
Yeah.
But,
this episode was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, very good, but there were some aspects that kind of confused me. Well, they're going for like a multi-dimensional.
Yeah, they're doing. I really hope they do the multiverse. Another thing, the South Parkers doing. Everything's doing the multiverse.
But we just watched this South Park episode or special actually.
Yeah, we'll if we have time, we'll do a rating for the new South Park.
Well, they were making fun of like multiverses and everything. So,
but everything's doing multiverses now. So I really hope they do it right.
Yeah.
I really like the opening. The alternate dimension opening where Mark and Omni-Man are like teamed up. I thought that was really interesting. I just thought some of the portals appearing out of nowhere and stuff getting sucked passing through it is just like what? But I think it'll end up making sense later.
That one guy, what is his name?
Which one?
The black dude with the big brain.
Levi Angstrom, I think.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but what they were doing there kind of confused me because he was trying to set something up and then he just blows it up.
And he blames it on Invincible.
He blows it up.
That's because like his brain's messed up or something.
So now he's gonna be a villain that goes after Invincible because I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna think the Invincible that from the universe he's in now was the evil Invincible from his original universe. Yeah. So now he's gonna be a villain towards Invincible, which is a complete misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really edged us with the Invincible title card. Like they usually say like, he is, and then right before they say Invincible title card, they save it for like the post-credit scene in the show.
I there was one point in the show where I was like, okay, here it is,
and it happened multiple times, and they definitely did it on purpose. And then when it shows up at the end, it is very good. I'm very excited to see what they do. We'll be reviewing every episode every week. Hopefully we don't get another copyright strike for talking about a new show. But the creators of Invincible are all W people. We shouldn't have to worry about that.
Better than okay, we'll bleep that out.
Yeah, I don't think we should talk about
They're going to get a copyright strike from just mentioning it.
But fine episode.
The show that must not be named.
Did you see Inside Out 2? Have you seen the Inside Out 2?
There's a trailer?
Yeah, there's a trailer out for Inside Out 2.
What am I want to see that right now. I want to stop the podcast and watch it right now.
Do you want me to just tell you what it is? Or what happens?
No, don't tell me what happens.
There's a new emotion, and I guess it is. I won't say anything, but Inside Out 2 trailer, we're both big fans of Inside Out.
Yeah, Inside Out 1 was amazing.
Yes, very good Pixar movie. And recently, obviously, we took a little bit of a break. And we missed a little bit of Halloween. We watched a movie on Halloween called Hereditary, which is very praised. It's a movie that our friend really liked. That wanted a movie our friend recommended to us because he really liked. You want to do a little Hereditary review?
Sure.
You know your rating?
So I think I gave it like a 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Maybe like 7 out of or 3.5. I get 3 ratings on 3. Let's do ratings on 3, 2, 1. All right. 3, 2, 1, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 8 out of 10.
The spectacular movie.
Yeah.
We won't do any spoilers. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
There wasn't much horror, but the emotion is really good.
It's not really horror-y, but it's so like it unsettles you.
Yeah, definitely, especially the end.
Yeah. If you don't like movies where you feel like shit and depressed the entire time, don't watch this because you feel terrible the entire movie, especially with that one scene at the start. And right after that pulls you in instantly. You're like, oh, what? Like crazy stuff happens in that movie.
I was not expecting. I don't know if I should spoil something you're not. I mean, it's old, so
we might as well. Let's not do spoilers in case they haven't seen it. But and I don't want to spend too much time talking about it.
But yeah, that was that one scene where that happens to that person.
The car incident, yes.
That completely caught me off guard. I did not expect that to happen whatsoever.
I thought the car was gonna I thought anything but that was gonna happen in that scene.
I think it had a very similar feeling to Talk to Me.
But I just think Talk to Me did it so much better because the ending to Hereditary blew ass. The ending to this movie sucked, dude.
I don't think it sucked. It was just kind of
The movie was so good until like the last 10, 15 minutes. They did nothing. Like as soon as like the dad catches on fire, and then I think fuck it, we'll get in the spoilers.
Okay.
Payment or whatever goes into the mom because like you see her watching the dad burn, and then like you see like she's like freaking out, and then like you see her like emotion because I think that's ghost going into her or something.
Yeah, she's completely possessed by that.
And then after that, and then she's in the
she's
corner,
crawling on the
floating
wall.
around. Like we were literally laughing like at that. Like
no, but it's unsettling though.
It's a little unsettling, and then the naked people is a little unsettling. But then in like the very last 10 minutes, they just overdo it, and it's just.
I love that scene when you see like a shot of the house and then it cuts to night and then the naked people.
Yeah, that was pretty
like
scary.
Oh god.
Yeah, but then they just overdo it, and then like you see full shots of them, and then the whole ending just doesn't even make sense because I'm assuming Peter's not still alive. Is Charlie and Payman inside of him? Is Charlie Payman now? Are they just sharing a body or something?
Payman is now inside of his body, and Payman is like a king, so they're used to him to bring Payman into the world. But they call him
Charlie at the end.
Charlie?
Yeah, they call him Charlie. You don't remember that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, they like Charlie, and they you are Charlie. You are now Payman or whatever. So I think it's a lot of just stuff that, and it's just like they didn't do any of that the whole movie. Why did you need to do it at the very end? Like,
well, they didn't want to show people what was happening. Obviously, it was supposed to be a twist. Yeah, which I liked the twist. It was bad.
Like it was unsettling things about it, but I just thought it was so out of place, and it would have been better if they just didn't do it.
Yeah, but similar vibes to Talk to Me, except Talk to Me had a main character.
Spectacular.
Oh yeah, it was a good ending. But Talk to Me had a definite main character.
Yep.
And this movie
switches perspectives.
Yeah, it switches perspectives.
I really like the way this film is shot. Like I had where it's like the playhouse stuff and it zooms in and stuff. I really like.
The acting is great too.
Yeah, oh my god, the acting is spectacular. The kid Peter is in the My Friend Dahmer horror movie, which is a horror movie I really like. He's also in the live action Death Note movie. He's Light.
Oh yeah,
in the Death Note movie.
Now that's where I remember him from.
Have you seen the live action Death Note movie?
I saw it a long time ago when my sister was into anime.
Terrible.
Yeah,
it is bad, but he's pretty bad in that. But he was great in this, and the mom was spectacular too. And the dad doesn't get any like breakdown moments really, but like you don't need that. You can tell, like you can just tell from like the way he's like reacting.
I thought he was gonna be like a shitty dad, honestly, but he's actually trying to like help his family the whole time.
And then like you see him slowly like not like huge breakup, but you see him like cry at the end and stuff.
You feel bad for him.
Yeah, and oh my god, the acting was spectacular. Even the little girl actor was spectacular. Oh.
The emotion, you can really feel the emotion. It felt so real.
Definitely in top 10 horror movies of all time. Definitely. It was great. Yeah. I just think Talk to Me is just did that a little better. Talk to Me was spectacular.
And it really doesn't have to be scary anymore. It really just comes down to the story. I did not expect the FNAF movie to be scary. I just wanted a good story. And they didn't
not get a good story.
They didn't do it. Yeah. Well, what else do we have to talk about?
Well, we do have
questions.
Rapid fire. I guess we can save.
I kind of want to do them. I kind of want to do the question.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to do them.
We are at 52 minutes.
We're probably gonna cut some stuff out so we can talk about this. Before we'll get into some. We've never really asked each other just random questions about each other.
Except for the first episode, we asked like 5 questions.
Yeah, maybe, but we have like 15 questions for each other. Before we get into that. As you know, I'm not big on MCU shows. You obviously don't want to watch any of them. Echo, a new MCU show trailer came out. Yeah. It looks spectacular.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, now you got me hyped.
So Echo, like you don't know who Echo is. I don't know. She's in Hawkeye, but she's like fine in Hawkeye, but it's like. And they announced the show about Echo, and I'm like, that's the stupidest thing ever. It's just going to be another terrible MCU show. The trailer looks spectacular, and the MCU revealed it's going to be a rated M for mature project, so there's going to be violence and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're also Deadpool 3 is obviously going to be rated R, and they're making a rated R Blade movie. So the MCU is acknowledging
they need to change.
Yeah, they need not only make movies for little babies, but yeah, the Echo trailer looked great. You haven't seen the Daredevil show, but Kingpin is the main villain in that, and he's one of the best villains of all time. You got to watch Daredevil. That's not an MCU show. It's a Marvel show, but Daredevil is spectacular. We definitely got to watch that, but Kingpin's a great villain, and he's in the trailer, and it's just like they set such a serious tone, and it just looks great. I'm excited for it.
I gotta watch the trailer too. Remind me of all the trailers that I gotta watch.
And then before we get into some questions, South Park Pandaverse. Should we talk about the South Park Pandaverse special?
Sure, just a second.
Ratings 3, 2, 1.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Yeah, no, it was very funny.
Yeah, of course. I love South Park.
South Park is great.
My favorite episode is probably gotta be like Christian Rock or something.
Oh, that episode is spectacular.
Yeah.
The Imagination Land trilogy, and then they did like one other one, but there is some the Scott Tenorman episode where he turns his parents into chili is great. Awesome is great. Any Butters episode is great. I love Butters. Kenny has some great episodes.
Yeah.
South Park's a spectacular show, but they're ripping on the whole multiverse shtick thing, and it is funny. They reference Spider-Verse and everything, and it's just
like
so funny.
pandering to like, just movies that are trying to pander to people and everything.
Yeah.
And just how bad they can be sometimes.
Yeah, and they really make fun of the new people in charge of Star Wars because the recent Star Wars stuff hasn't been great.
Yeah.
But they just poke fun at everything, and I love South Park. I love how they're not afraid to pull their punches. And I love South Park's humor. Sometimes it can get a little annoying, but they drag out literally one joke for an entire episode, and they somehow make it funny the entire time. And I just love it. South Park is amazing.
All right, so is it time for questions?
Rapid fire questions. Yep. So I guess ask me all yours, and then I'll ask you all of mine after.
All right, here we go.
Rapid fire. So we're speed running these.
Okay, well, I have some long questions. I'm sorry. If you had to have a normal job for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh. It's a good question. I know we're supposed to be doing rapid fire, but this is a thinker. I would definitely probably want to be an entertainer of some sort. Like, I wouldn't want to work at a store. I wouldn't want to be a fast food worker.
I have a good suggestion. Movie director?
Yeah, something like that. Anything to do with like CGI, movie. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Anything to do with movies, I would love to do. That would be awesome. I
can just imagine myself in that place. I think it would be a really fun job. Yeah. Go ahead.
All 15.
Okay. Are you utterly insane?
Did you know I'm utterly insane? I think
I like to dissect girls. I'm utterly insane?
I do like She-Hulk, so I might be a little bit utterly insane.
Yeah, I think you are a little bit utterly insane. What's your dream car?
Dream car? I would love a Tesla, but I think the design for Teslas look absolutely terrible.
They're not terrible.
I think designs for Teslas are pathetically bad. I went to a racing track with my dad, and there was Teslas there.
Yeah.
They're super fast and they're super quiet, but they look so ugly. But something like a Batmobile would be a dream car. I really want a Batmobile. That would be awesome.
Just a real. Are you gonna make it or what?
I might have to.
All right. Where do you want to live when you grow up?
Maybe like Colorado, maybe California, maybe Florida.
California. No.
I would probably Florida where there's no taxes.
Yeah,
that would be great.
No income taxes. Yeah. There's not. You can't just live free without any tax.
It's awesome. Florida's
my sister moved to Florida. She's liking it there. Yeah. All right. What did I write here? Oh, okay. Rank them: Americans, Australians, Canadians, and British people.
Sorry, but British people at the bottom. I'm going to put Canadians at the top. And then what were the other three?
Americans and Australians.
Australians over America. British people, Americans, Australians, and then Canadians. Okay. Americans are pretty shitty, but they're not the worst. Then there's British people. There's some cool Australian people. Aussies could be cool. The cool Aussies may talk to me, so that was great. And Canadian people are really nice. I love Canadian
obviously,
people.
These are all jokes. Okay, it depends on the person, of course.
Ryan Reynolds is like a Canadian.
That was my question, so blame me if there's anything you want to say. All right, favorite South Park character?
Butters, easily.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I love Kenny too.
Yeah, I love Kenny. Kenny's probably my favorite. Most underrated superhero.
Most underrated superhero. I think The Flash definitely needs more recognition. He hasn't, at the show, some people love the show. Obviously, the movie wasn't spectacular. But in the comics, Flash is a badass. And, like, being super, it's like the Superman situation. Like, it's not that interesting to be super OP and just do whatever you want. But the way they do it with the Flash is just so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, if I could have one superpower, it would probably be super speed. I just think it's very cool. And I love Barry Allen as a character.
All right. What's your type?
Probably mixed. I wouldn't say hardcore emo girls, but like, maybe a little bit of goth, but mixed girls are very pretty. I will say, like Mexicans and stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, that's fair. Who is the first YouTuber you've ever watched?
It was most likely Dan TDM, but I wouldn't be surprised if it might have been Super Mario Logan. I know there's probably one other one I'm forgetting. FGTV, Dan TDM, and Super Mario Logan were like the kids' channels I grew up watching.
I think the first channel I watched was PewDiePie because that was the first channel my sister introduced me to YouTube, and she showed me
Smosh
PewDiePie.
Actually might have been like the first one. Smosh might have been one of the first ones.
I didn't know about Smosh till a while ago. Yeah. Would you go to the moon if you could? And this includes all the risks that exist today.
Probably, but like I wouldn't want to do it now. Like I would wait till like I'm old and like maybe like, all right, if I die on this, then it's whatever. At least I get to have a cool death in space, but definitely not until like I'm in my 60s, 70s. I want to go to space when I'm old.
Yeah, and the moon's not that. It's not that. It's just
like I can see it from right here. I can go get a telescope.
Do you think we'll ever colonize Mars?
Probably. Elon Musk, man. He can do some crazy stuff.
I heard we were supposed to go to like Mars in like 2025, but that's not happening.
There were supposed to be like space attractions for like the space and Mars and stuff. And crazy.
All right. Second favorite 2D game or 8-bit game or anything like that?
I guess the FNAF games don't count since they're really... I've never beaten Undertale, but Undertale is great. I could obviously go with some of the Pokemon games. Pokemon has some great games. What exactly is 2D?
2D can be like
Terraria or something.
That can be 2D.
I don't really
but
play a lot of games like that. I'm not gonna lie. But FNAF World, I guess you could say that. I really like FNAF World.
Oh, okay. Mine has got to be Undertale. I love Undertale.
Yeah, Undertale's
it's so good. You got to finish it.
I will.
Where do you see yourself in 50 years?
Hopefully making YouTube videos. Probably not. Hopefully something involved with movies or shows. Or in a YouTuber mansion. Yeah. Or just anything that's good.
You'll have like bad, the final YouTuber mansion from YouTuber's Life, the one that it's in space.
Yes, oh my god. YouTuber's Life is fantastic.
What are you most excited for in the coming years?
Obviously the Batman 2. Beyond the Spider-Verse. I mean, of course, there's a lot of movies I'm excited for.
Not movie, but just like
I'm trying to think if there's anything. I'm excited for our YouTube's been doing very well, so I'm excited to see where that goes. But what was the question?
What are you most excited for in the coming years?
The world's very shitty. There's not many good things to look forward to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the YouTube doing well. I'm very excited to see where our YouTube goes.
I think I'm probably looking forward to going to college.
I'm probably not going to go to college. I hate school enough as it is, so I don't imagine myself going back. But obviously, it's good to get your degrees and stuff.
Yeah. When do you think humans will go extinct?
Probably in like the next 80 to 100 years, maybe 500 years.
What? Are you 80 years?
Okay, no, maybe
you can live to see that, bro.
Okay, maybe in like the next 500-600 years. Maybe I was a little too low.
No, I think we're gonna last a long.
We'll last a while. It's no time soon, but it'll probably come one day for sure.
500 years is actually pretty fucking soon, bro.
I guess
humans have been around for 200,000 years.
Yeah, you are right. But who knows? Anything could happen.
Mm. All right, well, that's all my questions.
Are you ready for mine?
Yes, I'm ready.
I asked you a lot of just movie-related stuff. Okay. You asked a lot of personal questions, but I have some good ones in here. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
The Empire Strikes Back.
Great answer. My second favorite movie of all time. What's your favorite short that we've made or video? What's your favorite thing that's come out of our channel? Like favorite community post, short, video, anything?
Okay, my favorite video that we made was the first video on our channel. It was
the oldest view
one. It's very out of theme for what we do now, of course, because we're still figuring things out. Yeah. But that video connects so much to me, and it did really well.
Edited very well, and it got a lot of support.
I loved making that video, every second of it.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite FNAF game?
My favorite FNAF game is FNAF 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Over Sister Location?
Yeah, definitely.
No way. Over I know you like it more than FNAF, well, obviously. More than FNAF 4?
FNAF 4 is second, yeah.
FNAF 4 is second? You don't think Sister Location? I think Sister Location's better of like
Sister Location has issues.
but there's so much in it. There's so much more. It's like an actual like voice. Like there's yeah, you're crazy. We're gonna have to do a FNAF game ranking episode.
Yeah, definitely.
You got some terrible FNAF takes.
What? That's actually a pretty common opinion that Sister Location isn't.
Sister Location 2 obviously has issues, but I think it's clearly better than FNAF. FNAF 2 is good.
FNAF 2. Okay, my love for FNAF 2 comes from a very it's a little biased. FNAF 4 is just a great game. It's the scariest by far. Yeah.
How would you feel if we walked out of the FNAF movie and I was like, I really like that. I love that.
I'll be very disappointed in you because it would just make me question things because we agree on a lot of things.
Yeah, we do surprisingly agree on a lot of things.
And I would just feel kind of left out because all of my friends except for you like the movie.
It's because, like we've grown up with this since day one. We're day one fans. I'm not saying you guys are fake fans, but, and like I said, it's in our name. We get as critical as possible. Yeah. We're the critical crew, so Do you like Legos?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like Legos, but I've stopped building them ever since like I was 12 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
But every time after that I've gotten a Lego set just randomly and built it, I've had a lot of fun.
That No Way Home one is spectacular. Top 3 Lego set.
Yeah, I got a Batmobile, and that was really that looks really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
What's favorite Lego brand though? Like, do you like the Lego Harry Potter sets, the Lego Star Wars sets, the Marvel DC sets?
I wouldn't say there's anything like. I wouldn't say there's a specific one that I like, but I like making vehicles, like especially Star Wars vehicles, like
Star Wars,
like the Millennium Falcon. That would just be so cool to build or something like that,
Favorite Spider-Man suit?
Definitely the TASM 2 suit.
Of course, I agree. Who is your favorite MCU villain?
Favorite MCU villain is gotta be I gotta think of everybody.
This is really clear for me.
Yeah, I think I know who you're going for. So, okay, just to clarify, I haven't watched anything. I haven't watched Infinity War or anything after that yet.
You watched the first 2 phases and half of Phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
You were on Black Panther. So you've got Loki, Malekith from Thor: The Dark World, Ronan, Whiplash,
definitely
Ironmonger,
Ultron.
the Red Skull. Ultron?
No, I'm kidding.
I think Ultron was they should have saved Ultron for a bigger role. Because Ultron had a lot of potential, and I think they just kind of wasted him in that mess of movie. Loki, obviously.
Probably Loki. But I don't know. I just feel like there's something else I'm missing. God, it's so hard for me to pick favorites sometimes.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it is.
Especially for villains. It's easier for good guys.
The Vulture from Vulture is in my top 5. I love Vulture from Homecoming. Yeah, Vulture is spectacular.
All right. Oh, next question.
What's your favorite poster on the set or that we have?
Definitely the Invincible poster, honestly.
The Invincible poster is very nice.
Yeah, you just got it.
What's your least favorite MCU movie?
Least favorite MCU movie right now is Thor: The Dark World.
Really?
Just watched it, and it's my least favorite.
It's definitely on the bottom 5, but I don't think it's the absolute worst. We just recently watched this. Yeah, a bad movie. Besides Across the Spider-Verse, what's your favorite Marvel movie? So not necessarily MCU, but it can be anything Marvel.
Besides Across and Into?
Yeah.
Okay. The Winter Soldier?
That's a great pick. Winter Soldier is spectacular.
Do you remember anything that I say I liked more?
I
don't think so.
Maybe the first Deadpool.
Oh yeah, that is really good. But I think I like Winter Soldier better.
And the Winter Soldier is spectacular. Who is your favorite MCU character?
Honestly, Captain America, because he has great movies.
Yeah, I won't blame you. Probably the best trilogy in the MCU.
I think this question's been proposed a lot of times on this podcast, probably.
Well, I think only like once forever ago.
Okay, yeah. The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think The Dark Knight's overall is the better movie, but the
Batman's
Batman
a better Batman.
Yeah, the Batman has some spectacular Batman stuff, but The Dark Knight is a classic. Rank all 4 main Spider-Men. So Andrew, Toby, Tom, and Peter B. Parker.
Peter B. Parker? What?
From Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to put probably Peter B. Parker at the top, and then Andrew.
I don't blame you.
Then Andrew, and then Toby, and then Tom.
Yeah, I would probably do Andrew. Peter B and Toby are really tied, but Peter B is great. Tom's definitely at the bottom, though. I don't hate Tom, but he's definitely not the best.
And Toby's movies, all 3 of them are probably better than the TASM series, but TASM 2 is really good.
I mean, I'm not that big on Spider-Man 1, of course. I like Spider-Man 2, not as much as everyone else. Spider-Man 2 is still great, though. And then Spider-Man 3 is my favorite out of that trilogy. I think Spider-Man 3 is great. But I love the TASM movies, and I've always have.
Both series are good.
Yeah, no, both spectacular. I think they both definitely have undeserved hate. What's your favorite genre? Just like genre of anything. Favorite genre?
Genre of anything.
So like fantasy, sci-fi, action.
Probably like action and like kind of a drama kind of thing. So there's like action, like anything like badass. I love like just badass movies, like where someone's just going crazy and killing people, you know?
Like John Wick or something.
Yeah, John Wick, for example. And then I love drama like Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Oh my god,
spectacular.
There's so many shows like that are good. The Boys would fall under that category too, I think. And let's see what else.
Fantasy.
For books, I'd say my favorite genre is probably fantasy. Yeah,
because the Harry Potter books. And final question: if you could get an autograph from anybody in the world, who would it be? An actor you like?
I'm not crazy about celebrities at all. Like, I've never been big into following their lives or anything or keeping track of celebrities.
Well, obviously, but like it's different for cases for like some of the superhero actors we love. You know, like someone like Edward Norton. Like, you know, I can't. How am I forgetting Tyler Durden's name? Brad Pitt.
I'd want Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah, spectacular pick. I would probably want Bob Odenkirk's or anybody from Breaking Bad would be awesome to have.
Or Gustavo Fring, Giancarlo Esposito. I want to go back to that last question real quick about. I love the genre of dystopian. So like that would be. It's like, for example, The Hunger Games. It's like a world that has this city or like this society that's kind of like in a bad state or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
I love something like that. And then I've read a bunch of book series related to that type of genre, and they're all great.
And that was the final. That was all the questions. So that was a pretty good episode. We talked about a bunch.
Yeah, a lot.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to check out our letterboxes, Snapchats, our TikToks, Spotify, main channel, all in the description below. Thank you guys so much for all the support and stuff. I hope you had fun watching, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye.